Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River. It's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 7:08. Tuesday, December 13th, 32 degrees. Get it to 45 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio. Stream live on the radio pop app at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are now joined in the studio by Suzanne Fichtner. She is from Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity. Good morning, Susan. How are you?
Good morning. Very good, thanks.
Good morning, Phil.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning,
I'm
Phil.
doing good. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Jeremy.
So Phil told me that I didn't involve him enough in the last interview. So we're going to try to involve him more now. Okay.
That was my part. I'm
Phil,
done now.
can you ask Susan to give us a quick overview of Habitat for Humanity?
I can do that.
Go ahead.
Susan, can you give us a quick overview of Habitat for Humanity?
Sure, I can. Thanks, Phil.
Anytime.
Northern Ocean Habitat started in 1999. Officially, it was affiliated in 2000, and since then we've been building affordable homes, about one a year. In 2010, we met a crossroad where we were recognizing that many people were living in substandard housing and that we could make a real impact through doing repairs to their homes, critical home repairs as well as simple repairs. So since then, we've been doing both affordable housing and repairs, and we've been impacting over about 150 families and homeowners.
Wow. So 2010 was that? I mean, what precipitated that change? That kind of change in philosophy? Was there something? Was there an event? Was there something that happened? What did that for you?
Well, that's an interesting question because actually I received a phone call from the executive director from 21 Plus, and we were researching the Brush with Kindness program for quite a while and looking at different alternatives to housing solutions. And sometimes it just comes knocking at your door and you've got to be ready to say yes. And she actually told us that they lost their funding to do simple repairs to their group homes.
Okay.
So at that point, we were looking at how repairs could really impact homeowners, families, and just give them a better housing, better, safer homes. And, it was certainly a great place to start with 21 Plus.
That's great. Phil, can you ask Susan real quick how she got started at Habitat for Humanity, kind of what her background looks like? Go down that road.
It's pretty funny. I'm sitting here and thinking the questions that you're saying. It's
right.
actually me.
Well,
we kind of work the same
We're
wavelength.
very good friends.
Yeah,
so go ahead, Phil. Why don't you go ahead and go down that road?
How did you end up at Habitat for Humanity? I mean, what was this? When you were 10 years old, you really thought this is where you were going to be?
Well, actually, I was a hotel manager for a lot of years and did hotel restaurant out of college. Went to Syracuse, knew that I wanted to be in hotel restaurant, did a lot living here at the Jersey Shore, which was really cool. Worked at the Windjammer over in Seaside Park, and just kind of started in that direction and stayed in, in for-profit business management. Then I hit a crossroad and I started to work with the YMCA, and that was up in northern New Jersey. Started to see the real impact that you could make in your community through nonprofit, and really was with the Ocean County YMCA for about 10 years. And from there, I just branched into more work in the community, got very involved in homeless advocacy work, and from there, it kind of directed me down the road towards Habitat. So I volunteered with Habitat for easily 5-6 years while I was working as the director of Christian service at Donovan. So it sort of all just had its journey and path. And next thing you know, this opportunity came my way, and I was passionate about issues surrounding homelessness or the lack of affordable housing for people that were homeless. So it just seemed a good fit.
Yeah. So director of Christian services at Donovan, is there a director of Jewish services or Muslim services? I mean, how does that?
I was wondering the same question.
No.
Well, it was actually really that is a good question. It was actually really community, community service. Being that Donovan is a Catholic high school, That was kind of the title in a lot of ways, but we actually worked in almost every nonprofit. So the students went out into the community. They worked with Big Brother, Big Sister, Hunger Relief.
So it's really
Interfaith.
Christians doing service.
Yeah.
I understand. I got it. Because Phil was telling me before that he's the director of Jewish services.
That's right.
At
The
Congregation
Congregation
B'nai
of
Israel.
Israel.
Right.
And,
which
but
is a much bigger job than the director of Christian services
it's very
at the
tough.
synagogue.
Very tough to get them out to do service.
That's true.
Services are usually
That's-
very organized on Friday and Saturday.
That's a whole separate. That's a whole separate issue.
story. Yeah,
whole
yeah,
separate
yeah.
issue.
Yeah. My dysfunction. So.
Can you maybe we should ask Susan? How Sandy impacted Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity. Do you want to maybe take that one?
Should I take that one?
Yeah, go with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Let's see what happens.
So 2010, you said you kind of had changed focus. So how did that prepare you for what happened in 2012? See, I kind of twisted his question a little. We got to be a little different there into being prepared for Sandy and being able to react quickly to people's needs.
You actually hit it right on because
He's celebrating.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that the preparedness was the key because we actually started to do the repairs, and we actually had 2 critical home repairs prior to Sandy, and it really gave us an opportunity to see what it was like to really rebuild an entire home. The one story, which we call Miracle on 40 Bell Street, was a woman that actually was nursing her dying husband in her home. And while he was dying from cancer, a tree collapsed on her home and literally fell through the roof. And the only way she knew to kind of survive through this devastating time in her life was to prop chairs on top of each other to hold the roof up. And by the time we got called into this, house, everything was leaking in, and the home had mold, and it was pretty bad. And we were kind of like taken out of our comfort zone because we had been doing, more of simple repairs. But we rallied the community, and with the help of pretty much everyone from the community, including the mayor, the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, and different businesses, we were able to rebuild her home. So that kind of prepared us, as you were saying, because the repairs prior to that house were to the Bell Street home were much more, they were not as complicated and they were not as, as intense. So when we got into Sandy, we were talking about entire, critical home repairs. So I think that was our ability to look at Sandy and say, we can do this. And then the other key element was that we were building affordable housing still at the same time, and we needed to keep that going while we moved into Sandy critical home repairs. And fortunately, we started a really strong partnership with the Ocean County Vocational School, and they created a construction curriculum that allowed them to be the labor for our construction on our new homes while we kind of segued and moved over into Sandy.
Very cool. When we come back, Susan Fichtner, Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity, I'd like to talk about some of the other programs that you're working on, specifically your Aging in Place program, which I think is very pertinent for our folks here in Ocean County. And then I want to figure out how Guatemala ties into the whole thing, because it just, I mean, Northern Ocean and Guatemala, that's like
they're neighbors. Right?
That's like freeholders talking about battleships in Korea. I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
one doesn't seem to go with the other.
It doesn't, right? Yeah. It's not like chocolate and peanut butter. It's more like chocolate and more Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, Phil Brilliant, and I.
We'll think about
Susan
that at break.
Fichtner, back after this.
Rush Limbaugh today at noon. More Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin coming up next. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
All right, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. It's me, Jeremy Grunin, and Phil Brilliant, and Susan Fichtner from Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity. So tell me about the Aging in Place program and what that's all about.
Well, we actually figured that we've kind of come to the conclusion through our research, again, with our repair program, that many of the homes here in Ocean County are older. And as people try to stay in their homes longer, they need modifications done to the homes. Many of the homes, especially the ones like in the 70s and all, They, their doorways are really narrow, and they don't have obviously the right kind of, step down, patio stairs, if you need to use a walker and things of that sort. So with a lot of the applicants being seniors, we recognize that we could really help many of them age more gracefully with more dignity if we help to modify their homes. So we've been doing wheelchair ramps. We've been doing expansions on stairways. We've expanded doorways. We've, made homes warmer by doing insulation, changing windows out, caulking windows. But ultimately, the goal is for them to be safer and healthier in their homes. Right. Yeah.
I'll tell you, for one, I'm a huge fan of the fact that I feel like you guys are impacting so many more people today than you did, even a few years ago. With the amount of, kind of renovation work that you're doing, that, I mean, I think that I want to say that it's almost sexier doing the whole house from the ground up and saying, look at what we built, right? But that's, to me, is almost like, that's like for the cover of the brochure. What's inside is all the people that you're impacting with their day-to-day life, which is fantastic work.
Thank you.
And kind of segueing off that, talk to me about the Restore. And like there's a hyphen in there somewhere or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, the Restore, it's definitely, if you haven't been there, I recommend that you visit. It's 1201 Lakewood Road in Toms River. It actually is a resource for providing, the income for us to build and repair homes, but it's also a real major resource for the community. We actually accept donated furniture and household items, and then we attach a nominal cost to them and then resell them to help generate revenue for the mission. But even as importantly, we're really thinking about our community when it comes to the environment. So rather than putting your stuff out at the the curb and throwing it away, if it's still in good condition, you can donate it. We can use it then to help people in the community afford a decent couch, table and chairs, etc. So in addition to the fact that it's that it does help us as a financial resource, it really is a wonderful resource for people that need to have a decent home to live in and need furniture and household items to make it a home.
Jeremy was talking. He was trying to, put the chocolate and the peanut butter, or what doesn't go with the other, and Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity and Guatemala. How do we tie the two of them together?
Okay, that's an interesting and good question. Also, most of the habitats in our nation have a responsibility to eliminating poverty housing across the world, more of a global, a global view of the elimination of poverty housing. Many of us decide to kind of adopt a sister affiliate in a third world country, and we tithe. So 10% of our unrestricted funds go to helping to build homes in Guatemala, in all countries throughout the world. We actually selected Guatemala as our sister affiliate, and certainly solidified that relationship when we went on our first global village trip in 2009. We then went in 2010. We got into our new repair program. We got really busy, and then Sandy hit, and we obviously had a lot of work to do right here in Ocean County. We're going to be going again in 2017 because it's been about 7 years.
Very cool. Okay, when we get back, I want to talk about upcoming events and ways that people can support Habitat for Humanity. And then we'll give you your magic wand. Susan Fichtner, Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity. Myself, Phil Brilliant. Here comes the hometown view. Stay tuned.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 7:35 Tuesday, October 13th, December. Jeez, my goodness.
Going back.
December 13th, 32 degrees, getting up to 45 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 News Talk Radio. Stream live on the Radio Pub app at WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join our conversation. We were joined by Susan Fichtner, Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity. And the we, of course, is me and Phil Brilliant.
Yes.
my co-host, my co-pilot, my
Co-pilot for the last half hour.
my
here.
cohort.
It's our last half hour together.
Yes, it's beautiful.
It is.
Susan, talk to me. You know, we often say on the show, no money, no mission, right? So talk to me about fundraising. What's going on? What do you have upcoming? What are you excited about?
Well, we're really excited about our second phase of building homes from the heart. We are building a home that we started at the Ocean County Mall. We did the framing there as a fundraiser, raised enough money to more or less frame it and winterize it. It's going on a donated lot from the Toms River Municipality and Mayor Kelleher, and we need to more or less get the inside done once the framing is done. And we're also looking for, donated services. So electricians, plumbers, HVAC, roofing, flooring, anyone that can help us with any of that, that would be great.
Yeah, neither of us can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have our toolbox. We open up, there's a checkbook inside.
That's not true.
That's
You have
about the limit.
environmental. You do hands-on labor.
About 25 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Now I just sit behind a desk.
Yeah, and
You
you
know,
do
they
the-
don't let me around the
It's
tools.
just the Amazing Race now.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So that sounds like a worthy cause. And do you have a family picked out already for that?
Yes, we do. Actually, Kat is a single mom with 2 children, 2 girls. She's in the medical profession, going to school full-time, working full-time, raising 2 daughters. She's really, really excited. She actually tried to navigate all the pieces to fit this together for 7 years till she finally was able to, get through, some things that she had to do in her life to be an applicant and certainly to be chosen as our next homeowner. So we're really excited, but we do need help here. We need, as I said before, some services, building materials, but also donations would be great.
Right. Okay. And then what else is on the horizon beyond that?
Well, we also have a wonderful fundraiser for our veteran repair program, Padlocks for Patriots. And what that is, you buy a padlock and you inscribe it with a message of hope, inspiration, courage, etc. And it gets sealed on a fence. The fences were actually donated from Carl's Fencing. One's at the store and one's actually at our office. And with the donation of $20 for the lock, we then, go and put that right into our restricted funds for our veteran repair program.
I just said,
Oh, that was a good addition to the show.
I was thinking, so the lock stays on the fence?
Yes.
Okay.
The locks stay on the fence, and it's just to seal the messages to veterans, letting them know, how much we appreciate their service. And then it's like a pay it forward so that we can help other veterans.
Right.
We've been doing a lot of veteran work, so we really could use help with that fundraiser
Right.
also.
I know it's getting late in the show. When I hear about locks and all I think about is a little cream cheese
I know.
and a bagel. But all right, Susan, it's that time when we give you the magic wand, the pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability just to wiggle your nose and make an impact on the world. Susan Fichtner, Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity. What are you doing with that great power?
Well, I'm hoping that we're changing people's perception of affordable housing, that we're allowing people to recognize that the people that we're building for are hardworking individuals that deserve a decent place to live. They deserve a place for their children to be, safe, a place for their children to do their homework, for them to come home, bring their friends. So it builds stability, it builds strength, resilience in the family dynamic. So I'm hoping that people will recognize that a healthy community is a community where everyone can live. And that would really be something that I would want to just send forward as we think about the holidays and we think about how blessed we are with our homes. Think about people that really deserve to live in a decent home, a safe home, a warm home.
Right. Absolutely. Have you, I'm sorry, I'm going to veer off topic, kind of, not really. How do you feel about the whole little home movement?
Well, it's funny. We've talked about that for many years through different advocacy groups and grassroots, organizations that have really been pushing that forward. I think that little homes, tiny homes for people that need, again, a decent place to live. The concept can really work. Not everyone can take care of a big home,
Sure.
and sometimes people just need, that smaller home. Back in the day, we had those single resident, kind of little houses and little apartments, and it made people's lives better just because they had their place. So I think, if zoning allowed it and it could be something that communities could look at, I think it could be really positive for our community.
They are
and many
still big.
others.
They are still bigger than New York studio apartments, so there is enough living space there for people.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Susan, give me the propaganda moment. I need your Facebook. We need not your personal Facebook, but for Habitat for Humanity, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you got. What do you have?
Well, I would suggest the best thing, we do have a wonderful website that's led by a graduate from High Point, Zach, www.nohfh.com. And if you go onto the website, our Facebook, our Twitter, all of our information is right there. I would also say that come to the office, 1187 Washington Street. We're right behind Skip's Florist. Please walk in. We really would like to have people recognize that we need volunteers. Our phone number, 732-228-7962. But we really don't get our work done without volunteers. So please come and see us, visit our website, and certainly if you have some time to give, we would really appreciate it. So thank you very much for this time today.
Very cool. Susan Fichtner, Northern Ocean Habitat for Humanity. Thank you so much for all you're doing for the community. And Phil and I are going to be back right after the break.
Yes.
Cool.